When you have something in the body so strongly, you think of what?
Yeah, I think mostly of the pain. I mean, it is.
That's what I see.
yes. But at the same time, I was just. It is not a permanent thought or something, but it is maybe through this situation that I'm even more happy that I met you and that I can be part of this.
It's squeezed, you see.
Because I had this conversation because Shivani told me a bit about the satsang yesterday. Yeah. Well, it was, I don't know if it was really good. But I have the impression that one can fall very, very easily in this concept of self-realization that is so common in the people's mind, and I was for a long time also in this, which is in fact the opposite of self-realization. It's the realization of the person with his talents and all this potential and.
It is a realization, but not self-realization.
It's not self-realization.
Ayahuasca and all those things. Where do you think what it opens? You have an experience.
Yeah, I have an experience.
What does it opens? Or what you would say? I mean, open isn't maybe not the right word.
There's a very interesting insight into it by a man called Terence McKenna.
Yeah,
I met him. Yeah. And I agree with but it's his description.
Yeah.
And he says that these products can wipe out the collective cultural conditioning.
Oh, yeah.
So his metaphor for it is that when you live in a culture, you operate according to the conditioning of the culture.
Very much.
It's like a program on a computer, like an operating system, Windows or something like that. And the effect of this ayahuasca is to put that to the side. Yeah. And expose an older operating system, something more maybe simpler or deeper.
Fundamental?
Fundamental, yeah, perhaps. Yeah. Definitely it's an experience. It's very clear. There's a variety of experiences, but there's very often, almost always, some kind of witnessing happening. So it's not a kind of like an overwhelming, although they're stronger than anything I've ever experienced. Yeah. But there's still some, maybe because it's so strong, there's something there, witnessing that happening.
And what, after when it goes, what is the impression or what is the change which things which cannot change.
It wasn't immediately evident that there was, but in my case it felt like a really profound shaking up of everything was completely stirred. And on a psychological level, but also on a physical level, like a very deep, you can call it cleansing, because it felt in that way that there was there. And over a period of time, I came to trust and see that as a medicine, as a physical, something very, a powerful medicine. And I also understood that as a medicine, it deals also with the psychological component.
You cannot separate it.
Yeah. In the sense of presenting a very clear viewpoint and understanding, oh, that's what I'm doing, or that's where I'm stuck, or that's some kind of knot that often is then comes in the body, or it is something. Yeah. Yeah. And another element was a disillusion of boundaries, like a point where it's very, very clear that this idea of separation is just an idea and it's not reality. And the reality is that
that's a great glimpse.
Yeah, definitely.
Lila!
Yeah.
Lila!
Hello.
I want the blue now.
Would you, or are you aware that you agree that it is about consciousness?
Yeah. And that's why when my first interaction with you was so strong for me.
Remember.
Yeah.
Remember that.
It's not something I would advocate at all.
No, each one has to do what he wants to.
However, I've read reports and I've met people who are facing a situation that's like terminal cancer.
So it's a medicine.
And they've decided
Why
in
not?
desperation to go there and get some really
In the beginning it was taken as a medicine, mainly, or you don't know?
It's very, very old, like thousands of years it's been used in Central and South America. Yeah. And I think in different areas it's used for different reasons. Apparently one of the main reasons was to get a view, for people to
Grow or open up.
to see something that they couldn't normally see, which would help them live.
Some initiation.
It's interesting because this man, Terence McKenna, he's very articulate, and his thing where he talks about shamanism, which is a word from Siberia originally. And he says the shaman is somebody who is prepared to go further or deeper than other people and bring some information back, which can be helpful. And it seems like this is something that's old. Yeah.
I loved shamanism until I saw it is not the same. I still love it, but it is not the same as the experience of oneself. Because I saw that the shamanism, the shaman, belongs to the elements, belongs to the universe. And because he's one with the universe, probably those terms, you can say.
Yeah.
Knows the secrets also, and he can tell, well, if he's a shaman, he has the ability to inform, to guide. But it is in the consciousness. And for me, consciousness is the manifestation of what I can never know and name. Yeah. For me, the consciousness is not other than a manifestation still. And that was very great, because then things are put into places and I like that. And, if it is not clear to oneself, shamanism is very, very attractive.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And still, no. For me, it's like an exploration. I like the exploration of the consciousness. Shamanism, I like.
Down. And is it possible to explore that and still keep your mind focused to be free?
You see, when you go to that point of searching who you are, you may have shamanic experiences. Of course, it depends on which one you see. But if you are focused in exploring, there is nothing wrong, but it still means you have some curiosity, and that may delay. But I don't know. I mean, that's it. Yeah. But you see what to do if you still have the curiosity. You cannot also simply say, yeah, you could, but then replace it by the fire to realize. But simply say, oh no, I cannot because it doesn't go, and then you don't realize, and also you don't. So there I have no recipe. What to do when you still have things, accept the recipe, then be radical on the other way. You see, on the no way. Otherwise you get frustrated and it doesn't work.
There does seem to be, when those substances are taken, an ongoing engagement with the consciousness of the person. And I remember one time when I took the mushrooms with a shaman down in Mexico, and that led me through, the demonic realms and the heavenly realms where everything was answered as it arose.
Yeah.
And so I thought, oh, well then, this is fine, I've learned what I have to learn. And I went to the woman who was the shaman. I said, well, this is fine, but what do I do now? Go and have another experience? And she said, no, what you do now is you go and live by whatever the morality of your religion. So this, again, I couldn't really accept. And I was about four months later back in Texas, hanging a shirt in the closet, not thinking about anything to do with this. And this inner voice suddenly said, no, you were wrong about that. And I clicked till I was, oh, it's talking about because what my conclusion was, then the spiritual life is involved with climbing from the demonic realms to the heavenly realms where everything's fine and peaceful and happy and joyous. And this voice said, no, that's not the point. The point is that you were present in both of those places. And it was really partly to do with that I then became interested in, initially I got interested in Adi Dar because he talks, well,
I know.
don't laugh at the dead like that. But no, but it was part of the coming here, you know.
But it's like in '68 or even before when this the LSD and all, it opened the mind, and often one search because it took that. Yeah, sure, of course.
But Ganga Carl, he brings it in relationship. His Payuti, remember? He was telling the story. Somebody asked him
Yeah.
how he realized, and he started the story with the Payuti, and actually he brought it very closely in relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's,
I have a question about
Yeah.
Because my feeling about it is that it for sure is part of the manifestation, like you say, and the consciousness. So it's not the freedom that you're talking about. That we anyway are living in the manifestation, and there are ways to live that can be more beneficial or less beneficial to our way of life, like what we choose to eat or how we choose to exercise. And for me, taking the medicine is very much a healing, and helped me to really find a way, particularly in relating with my children and with my partner, and finding a way through what can be sometimes very.
Then nice.
But then to remember that it's not freedom. That's what I mean.
You see, yeah.
The two, you know?
No, I think it's very interesting, and it can help. It can cure a few things and all. Just to remember that not to confuse the level where it works.
Yeah.
And then nothing is wrong. But of course, can you hear it? Because you see, if you have not yourself experienced, this is not it, you will not believe also, because it's so amazing.
I mean, my
So, but if you can hear it, I find that that's why.
No, I can hear it.
That's why I bring the subject, because it's a bit about.
Sure. But one question that comes up for me is I had heard people talk about bliss, and on one session I had a very, very strong experience of bliss, and I knew that until I'd had that experience, I did not know what bliss was. I had no, conceptually I could conceive this as something like overwhelming love or something, but
it's not the same.
It's not the same. So when you talk about prior to consciousness, or it's still a word for me. It's, so when you say focus on that, how do you recommend to proceed? Because
never proceed. Proceed in any direction. That's the. All the rest anyway have directions. Your body, your mind, there, and then you see. Then you tell me. Then you tell me. You have time, 3 weeks.
yeah.
You see, prior, I mean, where you always are. Before experiencing and having great experiences, informations, and so on. Prior, it's just that. So I speak to the mind, otherwise I should not even say prior. You are already there. Just realizing that, so not recognizing it. It would be a direction. Just realizing, because I don't know how, by counting it out, and to, and then you tell me. I'm sure you can have an experience of that even when you take ayahuasca. A glimpse. It would be a glimpse. It will show that it's amazing how the mind is only directions. It's amazing. If you see that, you see it's but probably it will be an experience, but still you may then contact more and ask, who knows? Don't need to take that, but if you take, remember that, why not? That's why you see, I was telling the other day, you were there, that it doesn't concern the life, though there is, of course, the life is concerned. But that's a natural consequence of realization. But it doesn't concern the life, because all those experiences concern the life, how to deal better with the life, how to be more clever in a very natural way with the life and the relationships with the life and so on. I would, you see, you can still do that with this. Otherwise, go to this, and this will follow. That will follow, or not. But if you have that interest, you can follow.
Can you say that again? I didn't quite.
Yeah. You see, at some point, but it cannot be forced. It's a kind of natural choice. Your curiosity for the life, for the life, and the best of it, as we say, no? to be the more intelligent in a natural way with the life, with all what it is concerned. If you focus on that first, it will never end, and there is an immense attraction. So you are lucky to hear also, listen, this is one thing, and it has its beauty and its intelligence and its whatnot. But it is not that which will make you stop searching. And the end of search, including the seeker, so not the state of non-search, including the seeker, that will make you really quiet. So if you ask me, I prefer you focus on that, to have nothing really against, but then you are lucky to keep both interests, because I know how attractive all those things are. Anyway, I took a strong bang another time, and it was such an enjoyable trip in all the universes. So it can happen when you are with friends and at some occasion. But know what it is, where it's working.
Yeah.
That's all my concern since you come here, and since I know that other friends did.
It's not enjoyable.
Not always.
That's for sure. It's kind of difficult, but I'll totally hear what she's suggesting.
you again for a while, so I'd like to bring one thing up. Yesterday I was talking about destiny and stuff, but there was another day, and I tried it again this morning, so it still happened, which is that I suddenly realized when I was looking at a bird and it started to fly that I was no longer somebody outside watching it. It was sort of moving in me, and I was that movement. It wasn't a sort of separateness. So then somehow from that it became apparent that, it wasn't related to me, so it was all happening by itself, and the seeing also was happening by itself, and so there was no purpose to it as such. And it seemed at that time as though, well then all of life is like that. And that there wasn't any, those were forms arising. And so what they arose in was something that didn't have any form at all. That's all really.
It's a nice shamanic experience, or Advaitic experience.
Okay. Yes, it was an experience. But what was at the heart of it was that there wasn't any identity at that point. So when there's no identity,
No, yes, continue. Can I say something?
yeah.
I call it a great Advaitic or shamanic, whatever, experience, because it shows you the other side of your normal experience.
Yeah.
Right? Realization shows you it is nor this nor that. And the mind cannot understand because he says, oh, then it's mixed, or what is it? This, it's absolutely ununderstandable, but it is nor what the normal mind says, nor it is this that you touch, I say the other side of the coin. That the shamanism experience, shamanic experiences bring. It's all, you see, the invisible parts that the normal eyes. So that's why they say you need a third eye, or the eyes, or ear, to hear the real secrets of life, of the manifestation. Yet you have not yet kept quiet where you already are. Realizing that. You have not realized that. But you can realize that once you hear, so not through knowledge only, that it is nor this and nor that. But great, because I would say those experiences of the unknown to the normal mind gives you the fire. There is something which keeps your fire. Maybe a fire to stay there, but then I tell you not to stay there. Isn't it?
Yes. So, if one doesn't stay there,
But then you will not realize that I cannot go further with the mind. Otherwise, again, we go to the understandable thing. Realization is not understanding.
yeah.
Allow your mind to be boycotted, you see? You see?
Yeah.
Allow it.
Mobbed. I just hear.
Mobbed? 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 Mobbed. Ah, that's better. Mobbed. And this you don't allow because you see how immediately you want to again put a question and understand or go further. Allow your mind to be mobbed. I like this one. Yeah? You can still speak.
You send me a
Yeah.
combien de crochets au book.
La pêche à la ligne. Yes, yes, allez, that's it. It's too late, you do now. Allez, allez.
It's terrible, you know what you do to me.
Yeah, I know,
Oh my
I
God.
know.
You know, huh?
Yes,
Anyway.
I'm not too kind,
Anyway.
I know.
Well, so what you say about consciousness and this consciousness, you have to. I mean, don't pay attention to this consciousness. What you say, if I understand what you say. So, it was clear for me. I see clearly this consciousness. It's illusion. But when I say illusion, it's not like I said before. Everything is illusion because it was, a knowledge. That I realize that it's illusion. And anyway, when I so there is a there is one experience I can say. I know this is illusion and I don't have to pay attention because I know this is not mine, is not me. That I know. So on the sensing, this movement, this knowledge from the everything that it's happened, it's happened. I don't know how I can explain that. And by the way, I know this is also illusion, So if I start to analyze, I'm again in the manifestation and the consciousness and this kind of illusion. If I stop to analyze, everything happens, and I don't. Everything happened. And nothing. I can't put any judgment. It's only happened.
Yeah.
That's all.
Mhm.
So I don't know why I tell you that.
Try to express.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And would you love to bring the word illusion here? Or is it necessary?
No. I say it's illusion because it's I have to express. So I have to put a word, you know.
You are sure you don't put yourself on the other side of the coin? That's all my concern.
No. This is clear for me. This is clear. Yeah, it's clear. But which even if I have to tell you, I analyze this, I feel not very well because I know this is wrong when I tell you I put some you know a name on that, you know, a name on that. But which is very strange, I think. I can see, I see the movement. If I want to put observation, and if I don't put the observation, still the movement is there, but I'm not involved with that. But it's not coming from the effort, you know, it's well, it's part of the movement.